Welcome to the Chai Chat Podcast, solutions for empowered living. Engaging, educating, empowering. Each week, your host Taron Puri, author of Finding the Guru Within, and Steve Harvey, mindset mentor to A-list celebrities and stars, bring a combined expertise of over 6 decades in mentoring, coaching, and inspiring positive solutions to the negatives which keep us stuck and unhappy. With a focus on solutions versus problems, in each episode, they discuss topics relevant to the human condition, which challenge us from moving forward into positive growth and ultimate freedom. Through stream of consciousness, unscripted dialogue and inquiry, they provide practical, deep, and actionable insights to support you in creating and living a happy, successful, fulfilled life. Join us each week and learn how to access your own inner GPS, your guru positioning system, which comes preset with all the solutions you need for empowered living. Living a life of ease versus effort is only a thought away. Let us show you what works and what doesn't.
Welcome to Chai Chat, the podcast. I am Taron Puri.
And I'm Steve Harvey.
And today we have a fascinating topic for you. It is entitled From Success to Fulfillment, Getting Ahead Through the Heart. And we're very excited today, Steve, because
we have a wonderful guest on the show.
I'm so looking forward to learning and hearing Wolfgang Sonnenburg's insights into this topic. He has had a tremendous amount of frontline, pedal to the metal experience along the highway of success to fulfillment and the role of the head and the heart. Now, I'm so looking forward to getting some insights and being inspired. But, Steve, when we were putting our topic list together, I was speaking to you about, the fact that my mentoring program, I had to find a title for it. And I had to really think about what is it that I do and why, and what is the core of it all. And I reviewed the clients that I've worked with in the past and the different kinds of people. And I found that there was this lack of understanding among so many people of the difference between success and fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like nobody really stopped for a minute. And when they were on that success track, being driven by their ambition and all the things they learned, stand on your feet and make it happen, work hard, aim for success, all those things that drive or motivate an individual. And I also started to recognize over the years and years and years of working with every kind of individual, because, success is contextual. What you may be aiming for success may be a different context than what I am, but within the context of your own desire for being successful and the context of my own desire for being successful, there's still a difference between what I typically think of as success and actually the quality of fulfillment. And if I reverse engineer it, when I was researching and writing for the book, there's a very well-known statistic out there that most everybody goes to their deathbed, sorry to be so heavy at the beginning, with regret. Not only regret, but with regrets. And I had come up with my own little calculation that probably 80% of us will go to our deathbeds with some regrets. So in other words, our story, our journey in life failed to be fulfilling. So the question becomes, if I have 10 people in a room, I say to them, which 2 here will be the ones that won't be the 88 that will go, and what are you doing differently? And for me, long time back, I branded my program in helping individuals going from success to fulfillment, because I felt that regardless of the arena, whether it was a successful relationship or success with your health goals or success in the typical business terms or in your meditation practices, if people were striving in a certain way and were not keeping the whole idea of fulfillment in mind, then they were going to cheat themselves out of an experience and end up to what I call feeling an emptiness or a void, which many people who work earnestly and who work hard and with all the good intentions and on the information they had, they will reach a destination and feel that they've been cheated. So that was that part of that. And what are your sort of overall thoughts on success and fulfillment?
Well, as you know, I've worked with some of the most what we would deem successful people on the planet.
Yes.
But I've also witnessed that, a large percentage of those same people really lack fulfillment. It doesn't matter. It's like when they get the next private jet or the next super yacht or the next Oscar,
Yes.
It's very short-lived. There's a sense of success, but there's really no sense of fulfillment with a lot of them. And I think it's sad to see. As
Yes.
you say, on the outside looking at them, we think they've got everything that we would love to have, and yet oftentimes I've found that the richest people I've worked with are the poorest people.
Wow.
And the poorest people I've worked with are the richest, most fulfilled people, because they're doing what they love and they love what they do, and they're really living their life according to their own hierarchy of values. And I think that's one of the secrets of fulfillment, is to be able to do that, to live life according to your own values and not someone else's, And so today's guest, Wolfgang Sonnenburg, is someone that I've known for, since I think 2003 we first met. And he's lived it. He's lived, he's had the success, he's had the failures, and he's had the successes, and I think that's what fulfillment's all about. It's like a marriage. We don't get married for as long as you support me and you're kind and you're financially well off and you're there for me. No, the marriage vows say for better or for worse, for richer,
Yes.
for poorer, in sickness and health, till death do we part. And marriage is not about happiness, it's about fulfillment. And that's about embracing both sides of the coin. And I think it's the same in life, and it's the same with business. And I think Wolfgang will, I just know he's going to share some real great pieces of wisdom with us today on his journey and the discoveries he's made along the way. And I'm really pumped to hear what he has to say.
Well, yes, me too. Just on that interesting point about marriage, then maybe we should change it from happily ever after to fulfilled ever after.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That there's a whole other focus as to, do you have a successful marriage or do you have a fulfilling one?
Right.
And I want to actually replace that to and. Can you have a successful marriage and a fulfilling one? This is not an or, this is an and. And I want people to keep that in mind, that we're not bashing the idea of success, but you will not have the essence. You may get the form, but you may not have the essence, and therefore the heart always searches for essence. And I just want to make one little point about our sort of second part of our title, and then we're going to jump in with Wolfgang, is that getting ahead through the heart. This is a program that I've been offering and teaching for many years, and the idea came up again as to I had to look within myself and look at on the track to fulfillment, what was the role of the head and what was the role of the heart. And the very, very short version of this is that the heart has its qualities, the head has its qualities, and actually the body has its qualities. And I essentially had come up with a model where when we're in alignment and in harmony, inner harmony, the heart is the architect. It's the one that has the wisdom, it has the depth. And it's the one that directs the head, who's likened to a contractor. So you can almost see a triangle. And so you see the head as the contractor that says, okay, Mr. Architect or Madam Architect, I can put this into the most beautiful form that you're asking. And of course, the heart has the wisdom of knowing what is it that is the best environment and the best situation for our soul growth, which is what we're here to do. So the head goes ahead and actually employs the body, which I sort of break down to the five senses as being amazing subcontractors. Each sense is a specialist, and it can do what the head cannot do. But when it governs and guides this body and the senses, and they go out, and then as a team, the head and the heart and the body create harmoniously the environment through which we can learn and grow and be challenged, and in a healthy manner, with minimal side effects or collateral damage. Now, what I recognized way back, and that's why I put this program together, was that along the way, somewhere the head got ahead of itself after so many of these trials, decided it knew the work so well that it didn't need the heart. And so what it did is it took the heart hostage. There's a big hostage taking. I don't know if CNN covered it, but the head took the heart hostage and has been holding it hostage, and it's been masquerading as the heart. And it thought, I can do what this heart person is doing because I've done so many of this, and I can make more profit and I can have more power. Okay, there's those words. And now it started to slave drive the body and the senses. Okay, so what happens is that the heart's wisdom was to keep some balance and not to overdrive and overwork. But what the head did was it didn't care. The bottom line was, I want this and I want more, and it always wants more. And so it started to drive the body, drive the senses to the point where it was just never enough. So that's where your workaholism and overwork and work-life balance and all of this imbalance takes place. It becomes lopsided. I feel that in life and in the world right now, the head's been running the show for way too long. It speaks the language of the heart. Oh, we're charitable, we're philanthropic, we really care. But when you look at the misalignment between what they're speaking and how they're behaving, it becomes obvious that there's, And ultimately, my conclusion was that too much heart is unhealthy, too much head is unhealthy. But when the head and the heart come together, you get the superhero. Because the superhero, usually, sometimes the villain, as you notice in the movies, is smarter than the superhero. And it's almost at the brink of the end of the world where the superhero comes through, because the superhero has a heart, a beautiful heart, and they use their head. When they bring the heart and the head together, that's when we can become superheroes in our lives and become empowered. And that's when the solutions become the most abundant. So I just wanted to kind of throw a little bit of a backdrop for where I've been coming from with this, and your sort of whole looking into the heart energy, the head energy, and the interplay. And then we're going to have Wolfgang come in and enlighten us a little further through his experiences.
Great. So shall we welcome Wolfgang now?
I think that would be great if we can have him come join us. Oh, and there he is, like magic.
There he is. Hi, Wolfgang. Welcome.
Hello, Taron. Hello, Steve.
How are you today?
Yeah, I listened to what you just were discussing before, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to be on the show because I'm divorced. So when you said, stick to the good and the bad, maybe I see the world a little bit different because it's not just on the surface of the bit good and bad. It's really about the deeper intention.
Yes.
Because I divorced when it was really good. But I think if you just simply go, it's about love. And then sometimes, because of love, a separation is good.
Okay, this will be very interesting to go into. Again, there's so many nuances, of course, and we wanted to give a kind of an outline generally, but this is exactly what we're looking forward to. And you've authored some amazing books and shared a lot of this wisdom. So,
we're using this good and bad times. It comes from a few 100,000 years back. And we had different values at that time, and it was easy to marry, and mainly was the man who was the owner of all wealth, and he picked a wife and he didn't like it anymore, just throw it away. And then comes the rule, no, that is not okay, don't misuse her, so you stick with her even in bad times, if something is not really working. Because at that time they couldn't survive. That's also why in the Muslim world, they have the possibility at that time for more women to take care of. So for example, your brother died, you took the wife to take care.
Okay.
So we often use those sentences, but what is a deeper meaning? The deeper meaning is not just for pleasure or whatever. So if you make this commitment, I say for love, fairness, integrity, and this should go through everything. And then it might be the best for two people for developing their souls, what they want to do on the planet, to even separate. But you can do it in fairness, in integrity, and in love.
Mm-hmm. And clearly for that to happen now, you see, it kind of brings us back, I think it's not a secret that you have a law background, and I have a law background, and I always said that the imbalance happens when there's an excess of the heart or the head, like in the distinction between murder is what? Too much heart is a crime of passion, too much head is a cold-blooded, premeditated act. And so, like you said, when we can make the call that it is appropriate to separate, when the heart and head can come together in a way to assess the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. But I'll always love to go and partly it's also a language topic. What means coming together? Yeah. And what is heart and what is mind, brain, or whatever. If I decide, like you said, the passion, you can murder for passion or whatever, that is an excitement, and it's for me, you're out of your center. And if you're out of your center, you're always in problems. And if you really go, what I call this, with the purpose, with the soul, from your essential self, and not from the outside, then here is the servant. Yeah, so it's good to have a servant, and you can call it maybe together, but it's not really in this way equal. You cooperate, but like you said, only the heart, the real, true heart.
Yes.
Yeah. So it should be the boss in this way and says, "Okay, help me to fulfill it on this planet here." Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Steve, you were going to say something there.
Yeah, I was going to say, that a question that I hear a lot, is people will say to me, I'm torn between following the path of my heart and what my intuition is affirming me to do versus, the path of the conventional way of living, working, and so on. And people, they say that they tend to struggle with the idea of surrendering to that, to following their heart, because if they do, they're going to be living in poverty for the rest of their life. They have this challenge that if I dare to follow my heart, I'm not going to make a good living, and I'll be struggling forever. And I think, Wolfgang, you've got a completely different viewpoint on that.
Yeah, okay. What means following the heart? What is it really? And what is the intuition? If you take the body away, you take the heart away, or what is it then? What are you following really? And like I said, for me, it's integrity and love. But love, it's the same if you have kids. There are tough love situations where love forces you to do. And those who are not making money and just giving, that is not fair exchange. So they make themselves too small, so there is not enough self-love and not enough caring for fair exchange on the world. And that is a very important thing. It's not about money. You can make exchanges in everything. Like Doc Adams, when he had this clinic and someone came and was poor and couldn't pay for the surgery, say, "Oh, what is your profession?" "Oh, I'm a car mechanic." "Okay, you go in the town there and repair your 3 cars, and then you come back." It's all like, where can you support? It's about Really what we need to say is a fair exchange. And that means sometimes to really take money. For example, if I help someone who is, let's say, poor, okay, I can't charge the fee I maybe want or normally charge. But if I, in 10 minutes, help someone to make millions, I think it's very fair to get a million.
Yeah.
If I work just 5 minutes. Yeah, because on that what we need to change, not selling our hours, not our time. We're not slaves. So it's about values, use value, cash value, or whatever we share. And that needs to be fair.
So it's like, how can you put a price on a solution, in a sense?
You can't.
Right?
If it's just looking at money, you can maybe, I helped you to make this amount of money and give me 20%. That would be possible. But we're coming back to intuitions. I often go into, let's say, my intuition. What is fair here? Yeah. And then I figure it out. But fair is also not making myself too small. So I can be very tough with all those nice people, healers and everything, and naturopaths and everything. And they tell me, yeah, you know, my clients have not enough money. I need to do it. I says, no, that's wrong. You're telling them it's okay to stay poor. And that is not okay. Your job is to help them to grow and to grow also in fair exchange, but you need to start. So there's a lot of so-called good people. They don't know it. They don't realize it. They don't have the consciousness that they're creating a lot of mess there and responsible for a lot of drama. Yeah. So what is really following the heart? Following the heart needs also whatever I am, that's what I call it today, essence and purpose. If I'm a tree, I need to grow into the tree. And full. And it doesn't matter if there are bushes and grass smaller. I have to live what my potential is. And most of them, just from the heart, is a nice expression at the moment, is an excuse not to grow in their potential.
Very true. So it's about really self-alignment and not literally getting in your own way of what you're here to express.
Yes.
Right. And now it's interesting, as you were speaking there, I recall that I grew up in an environment where the dichotomy, there's so many dichotomies, right, wrong, good, bad, as we were talking about earlier, we get caught up in. One of the really strong themes from environmental, or I want to just say within a context point of view, was the dichotomy of material versus spiritual.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how deep into your cellular structure that can get, so that despite your spiritual gifts and ability to liberate people and bring their light up to, whatever, the message was that this is spiritual work. And therefore, why are you charging for it? And I would love to get your insight on that, because we healers and helpers and naturally helpful people who consider ourselves to be spiritual or on that track tend to fall into that. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I will ask a question. Where did you get this belief from?
Yes.
Who told you that? So why you are not good if you go for fair exchange, for example? And, we're living in a world, you see people just running after the money and creating a lot of mess. So it's easy, as we say, no, I don't want to do this. Now I stay a little bit more poor and be nice. But we need to understand if you're on the same level, you're on the same level. And it is about ready to be rich, but do good. So it's like a lot of people don't understand really win-win.
Okay.
We dream, and some people say, oh, I would like to have win-win, but win-win needs that you are ready to win. Otherwise, we only have lose-win or lose-lose. And most people compromise, make themselves small, and not realizing that they're responsible for lose-lose or lose-win. Yeah, so we need to step up and really be the adults and really live it and always look, is this fair? That's why I call it always fair exchange. And that is, the society doesn't want you that. It doesn't matter where your cultures go. If you go to India with all the caste system, if you go to the US, we need employees. We need employees. We don't make you strong. Yeah, Germany is all those, I call them Kaiserlands. Yeah, they still, the in morphogenetic field of Kaiserland is there. It doesn't matter if you called the Germans 200 years ago slaves or whatever. They were there to deliver to the king. They were collecting the taxes. And what for? For wars or parties. And they never needed to justify it. And
no accountability.
And we still have this thing. And I read in a biography from Martin Luther King, one of his biggest problem was his own people. He said, what do you want? We are mediocre. So that was so in the cells over years there. And that is that we really need to teach. We are all in this way, we hear it, we are really the same as human beings. But you have maybe different monies, different professions, and also different desires to grow. Yeah, not everybody is really wanting to go to what do you call personal development.
Sure.
And when I left school, I had first the idea to become a kind of engineer at the company Siemens, and therefore I needed to go there for 3 months and check so basics, learn how to drill and all those stuff, and then work on the conveyor belt with people. And I met there very nice people, very warm-hearted people. When they love that they can go there, let's say from 9 to 5, and then go home and think about nothing and just barbecue and be nice. That's the only thing what they wanted.
Wow.
They're not bad people. Yeah.
They're content. They're content within their definition of what's success for them, right? Yes.
Yeah. And we have today, we have a difficulty to accept that. When you see all these, do you say also helicopter parents or whatever?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's so much about their ego to misuse the kids.
That's right.
Yeah. And but that is, we talked also about some about money, the money game. It took me a while to understand in this context. I come from the Christian side, and we always, the Christian God says we have one God, different than the Greeks or whatever. Or let's say today we have one. 2,000 years ago, the Christians had also a couple more. But when it says in the 10 Commandments or whatever, you should have only one God and none besides me. The meaning of this is, what is your belief about the world? What is your, let's say, philosophy about the world or whatever, and God and spirit? And then there is no other boss, and it's only God, the boss. So you don't have another God like money or whatever on the same level or even before. And talking about money and spiritual, so that's why I wrote a book, Millionaire Spirit. So a lot of spirit in it. And in this book, I have some words from Yogi Bhajan. He was once the world leader of Kundalini Yoga.
Yes.
And he said, is it good to be rich? He says, yes, you have to. Poor is not okay. Not living. And then I've said, if God gives you talent, don't piss him off and say, no, I don't use it. Yeah, so I just,
Playing small is not what we're here to do. And
no, you need to live your, a rose should be rose and blossom, and that's the job. So like I say, if you're an apple, be the best apple you can be. But don't care what the banana is doing, what the kiwi is doing if you're an apple.
Yeah. It was interesting you spoke about the caste system there, Wolfgang, and people being content where where they are in life. I mean, I remember years ago I was working down in the Caribbean, and we experienced 2 hurricanes in 1 week. And so afterwards, the staff at the hotel I was working with at the time had the task of cleaning up and shoveling sand and mud away from the hotel. And because I was running the spa and the wellness center, I didn't want these tiny little spa therapists injuring their back or getting calluses on their hands from shoveling. And so I came up with this great idea. What I thought at the time was a great idea, and that was to rent out the movie theater on the property and show the movie The Secret with your good friend Bob Proctor. And so I set it all up, and all the staff came in and sat there, and I was last in to the theater because I was setting it up at the back. And I ended up sitting closer to the front. And I'm watching the movie, and about 10 minutes in, I'm thinking to myself, it's really quiet here. And I turned around, and every single one of them was sound asleep.
Yeah.
And I thought I was there to help, with their personal development. And I remember talking to the front office manager, and most of the staff, were from the Philippines, and so was he. So I thought, I want to speak to him and get a better understanding of who they are and their culture. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, Steve, most of your staff come from the countryside in the Philippines. He said, and I don't mean this to be, a put down, but they're peasants, and their parents were peasants, and their grandparents were peasants, and their children will be peasants. He says, don't think for a moment that you can come in and show a movie, The Secret, and you're going to change their lot in life. This is steeped in who they are. This is who they identify with, and they're perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Well, they don't see another world. But also, this is a kind of, I tried a lot of those things in my life, and until I realized it's my ego that I think I need to change something there.
Right. Right.
Also, and then you give a kind of pressure on them, and maybe now you help them to have a time off so they could sleep. Yes. But it is, maybe you know the story from with the Oprah. She shared her mom was a maid.
Yes.
And the big dream of the mom was that the daughter, as a maid, gets a good boss. That was a dream for Winfrey's
the highest aspiration for her was that she get a kind, good boss that treats her decently, which...
Yeah, that was what the mom for the daughter could see.
Thank God she didn't listen to her mom.
That is. But there's also a book, Imaginary Crimes, Psychology, that, like you said, thanks they didn't listen, that most kids feel guilty if they do something better. Besides all the programming that you can't do, but leave the caste or whatever, do this. So who wants to be a criminal? Yeah, those. That is really, we have really to do a different education system. But the education system, if the kids come to an education system, they had the problem already at home. Because today we know that in the first months, in the first 3 years, how our brain is developed, and it's not so good what we do. I don't know, when you see around the world, in the English and Germany, we say, I have a car, I have a house, I have kids. Yeah, so I have them. Yeah, it's not an obligation for me to do something. Do I have the time? Do I really want to help another soul to develop good? No, that is not the idea of society so far.
So there's a consciousness, group mind and consciousness, locally and globally, that we're also looking at. And is there a shift happening? Is there, in that sense, more of an awareness or an awakening happening? And perhaps the events of the last couple of years, has it helped us to move that consciousness a little bit to the forefront or not? I'm very curious.
I don't know. I don't have really numbers, but when we talk, or go back to what we talked about, is the nice people who stay poor. You know,
Yes.
they're training now their kids something, stay poor. Yeah, we have in Germany now, I saw it earlier in the UK, third generation living in welfare. So
Okay.
what we are training there, I know I experienced a teacher in kind of ground school in Germany, so the lower school, teaching in school how to fill out papers for welfare.
Wow.
And he thought he is doing something good. Yeah. So there's so amazing, incredible stuff going on. And a lot of things we need to really, what I call it, see the world in 180 degrees, because we're not giving enough help to self-help to grow. Too much help, like in Germany, all this welfare system is helping in the need, in the problem, not out of.
Yes.
Yeah. And the whole energy is, I help you there.
It's enabling. Yeah, it's enabling them to milk the system, what we say here in North America, right?
Yes. And it's all like the science system, how we call it. If you want to become a professor, you need to have a thesis and then protect the thesis the rest of your life.
Yeah, defend it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, defend it the rest of your life. And that is crazy.
Yeah.
You never can prove a thesis right. You only can prove wrong. And if we're really interested in truth, we need to test it all the time. We need to be happy when we find out it's wrong. Hey, then we can go for the real one. But
very much.
But this is not that we say, oh, Steve, how can I challenge you and then come to more truths? No, a truth, maybe you heard it from Churchill said that nearly everybody in life stumbles once about truth. But they go up and get it off like dust and move on. But we are coming, and this is what, even if we have now, we talk about fake news and everything and fact finding, we are on the way, and blockchain and all those stuff, we are going in a direction that we are more interested in the truth. How can I find out what is really true?
Yes.
And that's true. It was a truth technologies or whatever. And this is coming more and more transparency or whatever you call it. Slowly we're going there. But you need to be ready to handle the truth. Yeah. And how?
Yes. Yeah. Because no matter how true it is out there, we need to be, our truth meter inside, the resonance within us is what's going to verify that. So a truth for me, there's some such compelling information out there right now that, well, there's this expert. Oh, well, then that expert. And wow, they both sound so good. So how do we determine, right? And I agree with you. We have a saying here, truth always welcomes doubting and questioning because it is truth.
Yeah.
Right. And to defend a thesis of something that you hopefully have outgrown or gone to another level of it, or maybe does not reflect anymore, shouldn't become a shield, right? That I'm going to protect because I said it once, right? So I think that's so insightful. But I just want to ask you a little bit, the little bit that I understand of your journey. I mean, you had been, in the traditional sense of the word, with your legal training and very successful, right? And you had the office, the staff, the work, the car. I mean, all of that, the worldly, right? I just want you to tell me a little bit about that journey, because I think you'd be helpful.
Yeah, you said also what is success.
Yes.
I love Nightingale's version of the progressive realization of a world goal. And in this meaning, I was not successful. I was successful in classical standards because I was in the city of Hamburg, best address, an office building, had 5 floors, employees. I was very successful in building a facade. Yeah, it was a facade. It was not even a worthy goal. Today or a little later, I said, okay, because my childhood, my dad didn't really accept me. So deep inside, I guess I needed to prove him something.
Okay,
Until
to
I
show
had,
him.
had the right business card. But I sold my soul for it, my health, everything. So it is not only a fulfillment, it also really, I was 117 kilos and once, messed up a lot, what I have to deal to that also with. So it's a lot of things I wouldn't say is successful. Successful is if you live your true nature, yeah, you're really healthy and in balance of this. You need to go out of balance once in a while to go on the next level or whatever, but not just for the facade. And that is so much for the outer world. So people thought I'm successful, looking what I managed there or the big car.
Right.
But the big car is out, and you read a book, but what I share now, I was not allowed to write in the book because they said nobody will believe it.
Oh.
I had these BMW 850 at that time, and I stopped at the red light. And next to me stopped the car, BMW 850. And I said, wow, he made it. And then I looked at Mike, oh, I'm sitting in this
same car.
So what? I didn't know the person. I just gave him, he made it. But maybe it was just a mechanic making a test drive.
Yeah.
Did he rent it? Is it the son? I had no clue who this person is, but all attributes to him. And I was sitting in the car, same car, didn't get nothing. Like, oh, you made it, or you're happy, or good. Proud. I said, here is something wrong. Yeah.
It wasn't the self-validation. You couldn't own it inside of you.
Yes.
And what you mentioned there was that when you were growing up, it was about pleasing dad and getting his approval ultimately. And this is a very universal story, Wolfgang. Like there's, I've had countless clients. I had an Olympic decathlete. I can't even say that, like decathlete. If I have to just run upstairs, I'm like, okay, that's enough. This was a decathlete, one of the most fit, and they failed to qualify by about this much, okay, when I'm just holding my two fingers together, like there was just that little hump that they couldn't get over. And their father was a priest or a preacher or some and a very critical man. And when we were doing the work to get to the root of what it was that frustrated their ability to bring to the world what their gift was, it ultimately came down to this very fit, very together, very successful man could never, ever, ever please or get the approval of his father. It was never good enough.
Yeah.
So, and I look at this man, I think, wow, you're just amazing. He had the looks, he had the talent. He was a trainer for one of the biggest hockey teams. Again, from the outside, but the pain inside of him.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So it just reminded me of that.
Yeah. My metaphor today is I was born as an apple, but unfortunately in a parent family. So, and they try to make a good parent out of me. Okay. So parent school, and what do the parents, neighbors think about you? And if you, then what's really logic is says, okay, I'm not okay. I feel different. I'm not okay, because they say all the same thing. So then I try to compete. Maybe I can please a parent. Parents, or parents, whatever. And I can't change it as long as I'm not accepting that I'm an apple. And some people in life, like me, however it happened, I realized something. Oh, there's some, no, I'm not that. I'm an apple. And that's like Churchill's truth. A lot of people say, I don't want to know it. And live burnouts, everything, please the bosses, or it's just living the wrong life, living not the purpose, selling your soul.
Selling out.
If you realize that you're an apple, yeah, then suddenly you don't need the office, or you don't need the sports, you don't need that. Just, okay, how can I be the best apple I can be? And it's totally different. And if my dad understand it, okay. And then I helped myself because I was struggling. My dad was the biggest boss I grew up with.
Yes.
So can I find a bigger boss? And then someday I decided, I think God is the boss of my dad. So I thought, if I please God, maybe then it's enough. I don't need to please my dad.
Go direct.
So even if I'm not really religious, but it helped me. There is something different, what's more important than just follow all these sentences. My dad was not fulfilled. He was not the happiest guy. And the priest or whatever. So there were not really idols. That's how I want to become. That's like regrets. You talked about regrets by the end of the life. So where is a person who could be such an idol for me that, I go for that I don't need to regret anything. That's why also I need to get rid of law and my law office, because when I got a little more the BMW, what is here going on? What if I do this the next 20 years? Will I become a person? Is there someone I really like to model with all the values and everything? That would be great. I couldn't see some. So I needed to get out of it and say, okay, forget all the other fruits. I'm an apple. So, and try then to listen, and we come back to intuition, to a soul, heart, or whatever, and live from there. And ideally, one day I make it and says, yeah, I lived a high five life because I was the best apple I could be.
So what I'm hearing here is about intention and coming from an inner alignment. Earlier on, we spoke about we're not here to be poor or to suffer or to somehow deny who we are. And then you also said, well, once I kind of saw myself for the next 20 years, you're saying, so the office, the car, and all of that was not necessary, but you're not saying it isn't something that you can't fully enjoy, right? Like,
yeah, I guess exactly. Steve said there's a lot of rich people, he consulted, coach or whatever, are truly inside not happy. And some people then say, even if it's education from parents, churches or whatever, then don't go for the money. And I don't go for the money, but money is not the purpose. But for my purpose and bring more purpose in the world, I need more money. Yeah, if you want to do good, it helps you have money. So it is really accepting the material, and we are spiritual beings here on the material world, and we should learn to handle the material stuff right, with meaning and everything. So if we avoid the material stuff, I think we didn't get the real task what we should do here. It's not of misusing it. It's not to have another God. No, it is just fulfillment. And why not? I ask my soul and says, yeah, for your ass, it's okay if you have a soft sofa. You don't need to.
That's the bottom line.
So it's just, but don't be attached. Use the beauty, create the beauty. Yeah. And then like if you're a good gardener, you work in the garden because of your passion.
Yes.
And if you create more fruits than you eat, that's fine. That's good. Don't tell the tree, no more apples, please.
Right.
No. So create a good business or whatever. Yeah. And then you can give away or whatever. So it's not like we normally say we need to make profit, and the others say no profit.
Okay.
And charity. And I don't like that, because charity means I'm dependent the rest of my life. No, we are thinking, and I was very influenced by Mohamed Yunus, and from Bangladesh with the microcredits, and he is really working. His purpose is bringing people to dignity again, and her dignity, and he calls everything not for profit.
Okay.
So we make business. We want to be best. We want to be better. We want to make more profit, but not for the profit.
For profit.
Not to make us richer or whatever, for the purpose. Yeah? And those who don't love this, I compare it with my body. My body needs blood.
Yes.
Quite a lot amount of blood.
Yes.
I shouldn't resist the blood. But the purpose of my life is not collecting blood. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we also have,
yes.
Yeah, prosperity is wealth is different, it's more stagnant, but prosperity is that you always have enough. And the purpose of my life is whatever it is then. But I need all good vitamins, I need this, that I can best live my purpose. So I go for so much money depending on my purpose. And if my purpose is huge and I want to help a lot, Yogananda, whatever, 300, whatever temples they had built, or whatever. Sadhguru is feeding here and this, but he is very careful. He says, not more business than we need.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we make, the more we need, we make more business.
Yes.
But we don't want to go in the trap that the business is more important.
The greed doesn't take over then, because it is flowing in.
You lose the topic. Toyota once had the idea to build good cars, or maybe you heard in the US they needed to pull back cars and call them back.
Recall.
Yeah. And that was new, because there was always reliable, the cars.
Yes.
And then later one manager said, in the beginning we just wanted to make good cars, but then we grew and we had the chance to become number one in the world as a car company. And we shifted the focus to be the number one.
Oh my gosh.
And then you compromise here, and you mess up. So go back what the real purpose is and make good cars.
So Wolfgang, and speaking about purpose, I know that you've created one of your programs is called the Purpose Finding Process, which has helped business owners and corporations improve their lives and the business beyond belief. Can you speak a little bit about what your purpose finding process is all about? Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's we try it here online. In Gibraltar, when I lived time in Gibraltar, I was quite successful, so money-wise, and where I came from, wow, incredible. And I was falling in a kind of depression, because I had no goal. I didn't know where to go. Why should I stand up in the morning? What for? All what I thought is. And I think I did try exercises. What if the doctor tells you have a few years or a few months, days, and ever one day? Or the other story from Kavi, I think, is it at your grave? What are people are talking? I said, I don't care what they're talking. I'm dead. You should have told me when I was alive. Yeah,
true. It's true.
Nothing helped me really. And then somewhere, I don't know even where, I saw what should be there 500 years after your death, because you lived.
Your legacy.
Oh, that was
500 years. That's huge.
That was something interesting, and that changed a lot. And and then we come to the purpose, and my purpose finding is really the essence. It's not just invent. There are two schools. Some is really essence, and the others sit down, write 3 pages, and what's your purpose in life.
Yes.
But that is, for me, is more the vision. It's a vision. I created it. It comes from here.
Okay.
And the purpose finding process, what we do is a kind of very inductive process. We need both. It's a kind of meditating process with the client. We both need to stop to think, let go in the heart or intuition. And in the kind of meditation, we go like a timeline back, find 5, 6, 7 situations in your life where you've felt truly happy, not egoistic happy. I got a degree, or I got a whatever
BMW,
or just won the championship, and so it can be, but most of the time it's just ego satisfying. It's okay, but it's not for the purpose, the essence. But if you have different situations in your life where you felt maybe one with the universe or whatever, and so far people find those moments, and then we go through all the single moments and try to find what is everywhere. So with the wording, the feeling, go in a moment, what you feel. Someone says, maybe I feel power. What kind of power is it? You need to do something. It's just, whatever, just the process. And then we get a kind of wording, and we find it in everything. And then you see and a point comes, the body is changing, it's vibrating. That's totally, you see then it's really, and then we talk to all the cells. What do you believe? You can make also, like you do, testing. What is it? And then you see the body change and people change strength. And those who came and not knowing what to do, that afterwards is a totally different. This essence I can use everywhere. So I need to choose now where to live it, how to bring it into life. And then from the purpose, that's why we say discover your purpose. Then from there, what if you really live it? Define the vision. If I really lived it, what do I see? And then just make one hell of a lot of money for your vision. Work for the vision. And if this is aligned, purpose, vision, and all the missions and all the work you do, that is so much powerful. You go so much more in flow. Yeah, we have some stressy situations also because you want to get stronger. Yeah, so we. But like you in the English language said, it's a problem is not in the way, is on the way. Yes, we want to get stronger. Yes. We want to handle the next difficulties and grow. But those people are happy, and I myself now today so much more aligned in this, and just starting all over again next weekend. What do we do for this year? What we for the next startup, and I'm turning in 2 months 70. So I never could imagine when I was a young boy that those people who are 70 think what we do the next 30 years or 20 years. So it's a totally different life, because your purpose, your essential self, is living even after your body is living. So you can really work for the vision, what will stay 500 years from now. And that makes fulfilled, happy, and whatever goes on in the world, okay, it's just historical stuff. We're going, like I said, we're going to more transparency, and I believe the best is yet to come.
Yes, agreed. I think we're going through a lot of rebirthing pains right now, and it gets pretty tight in the birth canal and pretty dangerous and pretty uncomfortable, but it's the process, isn't it, of being birthed into our next level of awareness and consciousness that can help us to see ourselves with more clarity and to know ourselves. Yeah. So I wanted also, you had mentioned the concept of win-win, and how you might want to win, but your consciousness is one of losing, or the idea is nice, like sometimes people do positive affirmations out here and it's all surface and they're wondering why they're not producing. Okay, because there's 10 other affirmations in the background telling me, really, you know, like in what world, and you can hear your father and your mother and your dog telling you. So, and I understand you have a day that you've dedicated in a program you do around the win-win. Can you tell us about that? I think it's a great idea from the little bit that I know.
Yeah, and you know, we have a lot of wonderful ideas for days, for everything. But do you have a day in the year where says, this day, at least this one day, I live my true potential. I want to live my true potential. And from focus from the morning on to the evening on the purpose. You can do it as an individual. You can do it with your family or even with the company. And this was the idea which once came up. Wow. You know, when I was making vacation in my old life, the last day before vacation, I was so productive. Wow, was I productive? And then one day I realized, why do it only once a year? Why only before vacation? If I can do it, I could do it more. So what's the idea? If I have one day where we all focus on something good, how good we are, that we are enough, maybe we do it in 1 day, 2 days, and 3 days, and so on. And then I got the picture, what if in your hometown, at one day, all good movements, from yoga studio with whatever is good, they show up on the same day.
Okay.
That will blow us away because there's so much good going on there, but they're not connected. You don't see them. Yeah, there's no media for it. But if this could be focused on one day, but morphogenetic fields or the unconscious field, we could really, if we understand it, change something there.
Yes, make a shift.
So that was the concept of Winspiration Day. To be inspired, but win before because of win-win, Winspiration. And the 7th of May is Winspiration Day. And now with the Corona topic, the last 2 years, we didn't have so many events.
Right, live events, yes.
Yeah, but we started around the world, and in the end, it doesn't matter. The idea is to do something on one day, and if you call it Winspiration Day or whatever, it's a kind of umbrella name or whatever, an umbrella idea. Gosh, if we could focus all on one day for ourselves, for our families and whatever, for the town, wow, it's so easy to change something if we just focus on it and do it.
Yeah, it's like those schools of fish. You know, you see those wonderful documentaries, and then each individual fish makes a slight shift, and you see tens of thousands.
Yes.
Literally changing course.
Yes.
So there's a unity. There's we talked about this principle in one of our other programs of being individual but not separate. And and to be able to bring all those thought forms and frequencies and vibrations together and start off on a acknowledging and validating platform, and boy, the vibration, the frequency wave that would put out, I think would be huge. And I love the way that you were able to take inspiration and make it winspiration. I think that is just really, really so positive, because people love to win and people love being inspired. So I'd love to see this go global. I think it's just a really, really, when you hear the word, you feel good. Like you just think,
yes. We got a lot of feedback on this word and the energy. So, you need to be good in stealing and just let it flow through you.
So really, Wolfgang, in sort of wrapping up, and I know hopefully you'll come back because there's so much more to talk about. But here we are, from success to fulfillment, the heart's energy, our soul. You've gone through the ups and downs in lives. You've made the euros or the dollars or whatever you want to call it. You've had them in the bank. You've not had them in the bank. You've had them in the bank. and yet you continue to play in this world, but it feels like you've reached a point in your growth and wisdom where you're playing from a very different place. And that you are embracing. It's not that you're saying, again, it would be the same trap, wouldn't it, to say, well, material is bad and now I'm only going to be spirit, because that's the dichotomy again. Either end is an extreme. And so if you sum up your core philosophy, if somebody's listening here and says, okay, well, so how do I move forward? How do I learn to start thinking?
It's like you said in another context about this or that. No, it's about end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not about material or fulfillment. No, as a even maybe stressing some people, if you tell me you're really spiritual and against the material stuff, then I don't think that you're spiritual.
Okay.
Yes. Because you can't be against something if you're really spiritual. So you need to accept what is and use it. And just like in the Christian world, it says, okay, go out and say what the English terminology is, use the material, be the boss of the material world.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean to misuse it, sondern carefully use it, like I expected from every good dad, from every good boss, taking care of the employees, taking care of everything. So it's like I learn now taking care of all my body cells better, what I forgot for years or was not trained in, or misused them. So I think, and also if you think in balance, more good people need more money to be capable also to get things done in the world.
Yes.
Authorities, if they have the power, who has the power, has the money, and has the soldiers. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of shitty stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help. Yeah, I'm running away. No, then you make yourself a victim. Okay. And tough love, and what I learned from martial art people, like I have a friend, his whatever black belts and everything, he can do things incredible, like just putting energy out and people can't come to him, can't hit him or whatever. And how is that working? And what is really working is you need to go into love. Love is this main power. Not if you're against them. You need to create so much love that they can't stand it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. That's yes.
And that is really, and I worked a little bit with Bert Goldman, who was 3 months with Yogananda and was thinking, do I become a monk there? But then Yogananda left, so it was obsolete. But he said, I was 3 months with him, and 2 years I couldn't lie. It was not possible.
Wow.
Even if I couldn't, because I was such in a state. Yeah. And then you see, if you start, I didn't do it myself yet, but I see the more you go in these things, you get power. Yeah, this is such a lot of things are not happening anymore to you. Yeah, because you're on a different frequency.
That's right. You changed the game. Yes.
Yeah, and that is what when I talk about education, teaching kids and whatever. So far, we're teaching it maybe somewhere in Asia or whatever.
Yes.
Or behind walls and say, well, we are different. No, this needs to be part of the world. And like some people say, there are planets with high spiritual, whatever, aliens.
Yes.
And they even here, it could help us. But the law of not to interfere or whatever,
Yes.
As long as we're not asking for it, they don't help.
It's free will, isn't it? And our consciousness and our vibration and our awareness needs to be there. And ask and you shall receive. Isn't that?
Exactly.
So hopefully we can
learn to ask for the right thing.
That's right.
Yeah, because I ask also, how can I do something for my dad to prove and get approval. So I work for that.
Right.
The quality of the question then decides the quality of your life. And we need to teach how to make better question, because the school in Germany is you need to learn to have the right answer. And then you go straight through life.
That's right. And if you don't have the answer, that's it. And you don't question. Not question, actually, is what they say. So, Steve, do you have something you want to throw in there for wrapping up?
Yeah, no, I think
believe it, and like maybe start questioning your questions.
Yes.
And go deeper. What is behind it? What I really, really want? What I truly, truly want? And everything what this is a more Stephen's topic or whatever, where you resist something, what is triggering you? Yeah, okay. What can I solve there for me? What is this teaching me? So those people who are triggering you, I call it PETs, personal emotional trainers. So what can I learn from them?
Yeah,
great teacher.
Everyone needs a petty tyrant in their life.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like we said there about questioning, because I think so many of us have been conditioned to, it's not proper to doubt and question anything. Whereas I think it's very spiritual. It's a gift to be able to doubt and question everything, and to get to what you spoke about earlier, to get to truth.
Yes. The map is not the territory. So I need to question all the maps, even if they get better. I need to question again, if I really want to get in contact and understand and see the real territory.
I like that.
Well,
the
Wolfgang
map is not the territory. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
As Taron said, we could go on and talk for hours and hours, I think. But we're going to have to wrap this up.
Not today,
But definitely we look forward to doing this again real soon. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, we're really honored. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And we
will have a wonderful time.
Absolutely. Yes, we will have some of your information up on the side so people can learn a bit more about you. I think, there can't be enough of us right now in the world. To give a hand. So I look forward to wonderful opportunity to spread the light.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And we will be in touch. Bye for now.
Yeah.
We trust you found practical value in this podcast and will enthusiastically share it with others in your circle. And if you are so moved, leave us a review or write a post on social, tagging #ChaiChatPodcast, and we will show our appreciation. Promise. Taron Puri and Steve Harvey welcome you to join us for a Chai Chat at all of our live events and more. Connect with us with your questions, topic suggestions, and reviews at info@ChaiChatPodcast.com.